Hey, this is American Lonsdale fan. It's kind of early morning, not quite awake, but I wanted to go ahead and really put myself out on a limb by making a very, very bold statement. And that is, what is my opinion of currently on the market the best self-defense knife out there right now? When I say self-defense knife, of course, first and foremost, we have to say that a knife is a lethal level of force, that it's on par with a firearm. I'm talking about any bladed weapon. Um, Anytime that you use it for self-defense, you are of course using lethal force. You're not using pain compliance. You're not using any of that sort of thing. The next thing is, well, I'm not talking about a fighting knife. Let's be bluntly honest. Nobody wants to be in a knife fight. And talking about something that can be presented and used effectively in a self-defense situation. And the third thing I need to clarify is this. I don't pretend to be an expert. I've been formally trained. I've had a long time study for decades, but I don't claim to be an expert. This is my opinion based on my experience, a lot of trial and error, a little bit through my job and a little bit through listening to other people as well as being trained. So this is just my opinion on what I believe is one of the best knives out on the market that can be used for self-defense. And it is this. So this is the Emerson Karambit, Combat Karambit, but more specifically, this is a straight blade Karambit. This particular model has the CQC Tonto style blade, but you'll notice it is a straight blade as opposed to, here's an example of the Emerson, this is the flipper model, but this is still roughly the dimensions of their Combat Karambit. It's a Karambit that goes, when it's folded, goes tip up so that the ring is exposed. Like the Emerson, it also has a Emerson wave catch so that when you hold onto the ring, pull it from your pants pocket, it immediately deploys. There are a couple other out on the market with a similar design, so it doesn't necessarily have to be this particular one, but what I'm talking about is any Karambit style knife with the integral ring, with a straight blade, and with some kind of catch mechanism that allows you to hold it and use it in this manner. So why do I feel that this knife is in fact the best self-defense knife out there, which is a pretty bold statement, I admit it. Keep in mind, it's just my opinion. Well, the first and foremost is that it is a Karambit style design. If you've seen my other videos, you know I am a fan of it, but not necessarily for the reasons that one might expect. I'm not necessarily a fan of like flipping the knife and so forth, or doing double cuts in one swipe, things like that. That's not why I like the Karambit style knife. I like the Karambit style knife for two major reasons. One is, of course, the ring itself. What the ring allows you to do, whether you are holding it in a foregrip using the pinky, or more commonly with the index finger, it allows for good weapon retention. Number two is that the ring, in addition to the Emerson wave catch, allows you to quickly open this and deploy this knife in the fastest method possible. Being a little lazy, but I know most of us can do the thing where we take a standard knife and we're trained to put the hand up here, break out the knife, and here it is. Okay, unfortunately that tends to happen more in a laboratory than it does real life. Remember that a knife it's not a necessarily great self-defense weapon in and of itself. It's kind of an oh shit weapon. Oh shit, I should have brought my firearm, or oh shit, why does my state allow me to carry a CCW? Oh shit, I let this guy get too close when I should have have more situational awareness. It's an oh shit weapon. It's got a very short range, which means your attacker has already breached that protective sphere, if you will. So what's nice about a knife that follows this design is what happens if you are not in a position where you can do that perfect. The attacker is coming at you. My attacker's right in front of me. I bring up my hand. I bring up the weapon, and we start fighting. What happens when I'm in an odd position? What if I'm in a seated position? What if I'm been knocked down and I'm having to do ground defense and the guy's, pounding on me? What if I'm in my car? I challenge you to take your standard tactical folding knife and try opening it quickly, smoothly, and securely while laying on the ground, while being in your car, with the seatbelt on, when somebody's behind you, things like that. Just try it. Just as a perfect example, I'm sitting down on the floor right now, just leaning my back against the wall. And even with the knife in my pocket, I can still reach and bring it here. I'm going to be hard pressed if I was using any other kind of knife to put my hand down here. First of all, my elbow's in the way. I'm kind of bringing it out here before I open it. This method seems to work in just about every possible scenario that I can come up with, particularly when you are in a very vulnerable position. Okay, I'm going to move on with another reason why I like this particular knife, and it has to do with, I'm sure everybody is wondering, well, why am I particularly focusing on a straight blade instead of a traditional Karambit style blade like this one? Well, first and foremost, as cool as they are, these are not really traditional Karambits. Karambits, of course, were fixed blade. Being the fixed blade, there's a couple of things that change. When you have a fixed blade Karambit, as in traditionally, whether you're Indonesian or the Filipino style, the blade is going to be a lot longer and wider. Here, in any kind of folding design, it's going to have to be a little shorter than the handle because of the ring and because it's folded into that handle. So that's number one. Number two is that traditional Karambits were double-edged, so this edge would also be sharpened. So essentially, you can not only cut this way, but you could cut this way. When I use it traditionally, I'm pretty much limited to the swiping kind of cuts this way. Yeah, I know, turn the wrist over and so forth. Has anybody really, because remember, we're talking about a true life or death situation. Probably most of you who've done some knife sparring notice that this is not a natural body motion. It's a very kind of weak motion, and it takes away one of the most common things that you're going to do, and that's some kind of hammer fist strike. Even as infants, we all know how to hammer fist. The hammer fist is very effective. Well, essentially, we're taking that away because I'm swiping this way and I'm going to come back. Well, I'm going to come back with the blade here, the backside of the blade. Well, that does two things. One is there's no sharp edge here. Yeah, sure, it's going to hurt, but also now you're putting direct pressure on the locking mechanism. I have no problem with Emerson as the way they make their liner locks, but I don't want to necessarily spine whack my knife deliberately in a knife fight. That's just me. Once again, yes, I know that there all kinds of tricks and stuff. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about that oh shit moment where I'm, really fighting this guy off. And I've found that these kind of movements, even with the stabbing actions, with the angle of the blade, they don't necessarily come natural, nor are they that powerful. As opposed to when I grip the knife this way, you can call it ice pick or whatever, now all of a sudden I've got something that really is a natural movement for me, and that's the hammer fist strike. And I can do it different ways. I can do it angled, I can do it straight, I can jab with it, I can turn my shoulder with it, and so forth. I can do that repeating motion and whatnot. I can still cut if I need to. In this configuration is the fact that now I can strike not only forward, but all directions. So as opposed to when my knife is like this, guys over here, it's kind of hard to strike left or right. It's definitely going to be difficult to strike behind me. Same thing if I held it this way, I could definitely strike forward, but striking to the side or behind is going to be difficult. Here, I can strike in all directions. It gives me more options to escape. Emerson has always done the traditional, or what they almost created, the G10 handles coupled with the full steel and titanium liners. They make a knife that fills the hand correctly. But more importantly, or equally important, the ring is all part of the handle. As opposed to oftentimes, say with the Fox design, is from here is the handle and liners, and then they attach a steel ring here. Now that's not really what bothers me. What bothers me is then the company goes and starts referring this as a knuckle duster. Well, knuckle dusters are illegal in almost all states. The last thing you want to do is start calling this a knuckle duster and making it illegal with just your own company saying that, yeah, that's what it's designed for. Whereas with the Emerson, this is designed more to be the ring. It's not that you couldn't hit somebody with this, but it's more designed to be a comfortable, secure ring. The other part is that this is one of the sharpest blades I've ever seen in this configuration. And dang it, it works with everyday tasks. So as much as I might carry it this way, how often do I pull this knife, reverse the grip, and do little tasks? Because this blade is just amazing. It's amazingly sharp, razor's edge, of course the infamous chisel grind, which means it's only sharpened on one side. And in this configuration, the Tonto CQC, this makes it so easy to sharpen. But more importantly is when it's closed flat, it becomes not a striking tool, but it makes it for a pretty good solo training knife. Don't do this with your buddies. Don't start doing self-defense training drills because it still is a live blade. Even though it's closed, don't do this with a partner. But if you're just practicing on a soft target or something, it's nice because this still fills the hand just as much as if it was open. And you can still strike with it and imagine that, of course, the blade is completely out. So it's nice. Anyway, and yeah, in this day and age, it matters to me they're made in America, which I think is great. Anyway, that's all I got. I know this was a little long-winded. I just wanted to kind of get this off my chest, talk about it. Kind of tired and just wanted to stay at home and do this video while I'm sitting in my room and just enjoying the day. So God bless you and those you love.